What's up, book nerds, and welcome back to my channel. Today I am going to do a little mukbang, I think that's what that's called, with Chipotle, my favorite place in the world. I'm going to eat and answer a question, basically one question, but there's going to be a lot to the question. It'll be a loaded response. I got requested on a video a few weeks ago to do a video in the future about my college experience thus far. If you didn't know, I am going to be a senior at UW-Madison and I'm majoring in business marketing and English creative writing. So someone commented on one of my videos and asked me to talk about it. So I'm going to, because I've never actually been asked to do a certain video and I liked the idea. And so I incorporated some food, because who doesn't love food? And I'm just gonna talk to you guys. So in case you were curious of what my order is, I get just chips and queso because their queso is like, it slaps. My dad hates that I use the word or term slaps to describe food I really like, but it's just a part of me. I'm gonna get a bowl, and in the bowl is brown rice, black beans, and chicken. And then I get basically everything on top. And I do mean everything. There's like 3 different types of salsa, and I love them all. I want my mouth to be on fire by the time I'm done eating this. Here's my food, and it just dropped on me, and it's going to be amazing. So let's talk about high school. I took most of the AP classes my high school offered. AP Lit in Lane, AP Chem, AP Calc AB, and AP Calc BC, AP Euro, a bunch of them, most of them. I don't know why, because I didn't even take the test at the end of them. I just took them to look good towards colleges, but I really should have taken them for credit, like studied, prepared for the test, taken them, and then got credit for it. But for some reason, I wasn't thinking. I took the ACT my junior year. The whole class had to take it at one time, and I didn't really prepare and study for it, and I got it back and I got a 25. That really shook me and rocked me, and I kind of felt dumb. And I'm sorry if that's rude to say to some people, like that might be a good score, but to me, I just didn't feel good about it. I thought I could do better, so I studied, and then I took it at the end of my junior year again a few months later, and I got a 29. And so then I was kind of happy. I almost wanted to take it again, but I didn't, because I really wanted a 30 or above. But I was kind of over the test. I was like, you know, good enough. In between my junior and senior year of high school, I went on 2 college tours. First, I went to UW-Madison, and second, I went to U of M, like Minneapolis, Twin Cities. I kind of was already set on Madison prior to going on my tour. My dad went to Madison and got his bachelor's degree from there. And I also had been going to Madison for state swimming every year since I was, I don't know, like really young. I think it was 4th grade. So 4th grade through high school, I'd been going there every year for state swimming. I just loved the city, and I loved sports, all things Badger sports. So I was already kind of set on that school, but I wanted to tour U of M just in case. Food break. At the beginning of my senior year of high school, I applied to 2 colleges. Madison for the early admission, and then Dartmouth. I only applied to Dartmouth because my grandpa and then most of my ancestors on my dad's side had gone to Dartmouth. I applied on a whim, and also to hopefully, if I would have gotten in, then show my grandpa and be like, hey, look, this is cool, like I got into Dartmouth. But I ended up not getting into Dartmouth, and then I did get into Madison right away. And I found out during Christmas time of my senior year. I ended up graduating with a 4.0, so I got straight A's. I took all those AP classes, so I got the highest honors, and I think that was called summa cum laude. I don't know. I went to SOAR before my freshman year of college. Right before SOAR, I had gotten my roommate. We went on the Facebook group chat thing for the incoming freshmen and found each other that way. DM'd each other, talked, and then decided to be each other's roommates. We had to pick out our dorm rooms, like rank them, I think in the spring, early summertime. And then we had to buy Badger football season tickets, also early summer. And I was in Ireland at the time, so I had my dad do it. And he didn't realize that it was like, you have to be there at the exact time, otherwise you're not getting them. And I didn't realize that either. So I didn't get season tickets my freshman year, but a family friend who was like a junior or senior at the time bought them just to sell them. So I ended up getting them and securing them right away. And he didn't really up the price that much for me because we're family friends. And then I went to SOAR, I think in August. That could be wrong. I went sometime in the summer and I met a girl who is now my roommate, so that's kind of cool. And I went originally for nursing because I was going to do nursing and take all the pre-med classes. So I'd probably been in my undergrad for 5 years and then try to go to medical school that way. But I didn't really want to do that. I didn't really know what I wanted to do, so I just put that down. And then at SOAR, they were calling out all the groups to go, and my parents were there, of course. And my parents were like, where are you gonna go? Are you gonna go to undecided or business or nursing? Like, what group are you gonna go to? And then I ended up going to undecided as a true freshman would. The girl who helped me out pick classes had me do all the business prereqs because that's kind of what I was most leaning towards. I didn't know, but I kind of knew I wanted to do business. So I did like micro econ, psychology, and English class. And then the fourth prereq is calc, but I did that second semester freshman year. So I picked all those classes out, got there freshman year. It was a culture shock. I'm from a very, very small town, 8,000 people. You know everyone knows you, that sort of thing. So it was a lot, but it was fun. I hadn't really drank prior to college. I took my first drink of alcohol, literally ever in my life, at the very end of my senior year because I was in so many sports growing up and I just didn't like drugs and alcohol, and I didn't do that. I did party a little bit, and by party, I mean the first week or weekend, I went to frat, like row, hated it, not my scene at all. Like, it was disgusting. Mainly if we partied, it was in our dorm room drinking cheap vodka. That was disgusting, and I don't even know how I stomached it, to be honest. And then football games, we would drink like in the dorm room and just walk around and tailgate with who knows who. There are two big events in Madison, like Madison's known for. It's Freak Fest and Mifflin. And Freak Fest is like a Halloween party on State Street. There's a concert at the end and everybody dresses up and it's super fun. Freshman year, that did happen. Since then, it has not happened. So freshman year, I went to it. It was a lot of fun. My two best guy friends from my hometown came, and my one guy friend ended up getting an underage, and he had my ID, my like WIS card, and ended up giving it to the cops, and then the cops gave it to my dorm advisors, and then I got 3 citations. So it was actually not that good, but I really only had to write a letter saying I was sorry and what I did wrong, and I think I had to take a few classes, and then it was just on my like UW housing record. So my first semester with school, got 2 B's and 2 A's. First B's in my life. It was hard, I'm not even gonna lie, and that made me feel bad, but I don't anymore feel bad about it at all. I just think Madison's pretty tough, and you know, it is what it is. I did not end up getting along with my roommate first semester, freshman year. We did not click at all. Our personalities did not jive. Our living habits didn't really go well together. That kind of sucked bad. I'm not even gonna lie. So that was hard, and then school was hard. I did make some good friends, but all around it was a big culture shock, and at first I didn't really like it, and I kind of wanted to transfer closer to my hometown. I was also just missing like my parents a lot because I'd never been away from them. So it was all a lot, but after a few weeks, I'd say, I did come to love it, even though I didn't love my roommate. So yeah, that was kind of my first semester experience. Second semester, I got a new roommate, loved her, took 18 credits, and I got straight A's, so that was like a boost to confidence. Like I said, I took the calc class, and then I took like 2 science classes because I needed to get those credits out of the way. and just some other prereqs. COVID hit mid-March, so all my classes went online, and then they got like super easy, and that's probably also why I got straight A's, because no teachers knew how to do online schooling at that time. I got a fake ID the beginning of this second semester, so instead of drinking in the dorm rooms or at random frat house parties that were disgusting, we would go to the bars, specifically Scotty's, Lucky's, and JD 10s, JD Big 10s, I don't know. Those three are like the freshman, sophomore bars. I probably went a few weekends. I'm really not a partier or drinker, but I do like to have a good time, so that was kind of fun. At the end of my freshman year, I applied to the business school, and then I got in. For clubs, I did Delight Church Group, Embark, which is a animal adoption club that supports survivors of sexual assault, and I did Sports Business Club. And then I think I did Women in Finance and Accounting, because at this point my majors were going to be like finance and accounting. Little did I know. Between freshman and sophomore year, I worked 2 jobs in my hometown, just like cashier jobs, and I was a baker. And then I went to sophomore year, and I had signed an apartment with 3 of my friends who all lived in Aug with me. I don't think I said that. Freshman year, I lived in Aug, the dorm. It was a very nice dorm. Oh my God. I moan when I eat, so sorry. Sophomore year, I lived in an apartment called LaVille. I can say that because I don't live there anymore. It was super nice. There was like a ton of windows, ton of natural light. I shared a room with one of my best friends. It was a very small room, and then 2 other friends were in the other room. All of sophomore year, my classes were online. I was now in the business school, so I was taking all the business core classes, so Finance 300, Accounting 100, Accounting 211, Macro Econ, the business analytic classes, like both of them. All of that. First semester sophomore year, COVID was like a big concern. My roommates and I chose not to go out and do anything or see anyone, so I literally didn't leave my apartment at all. Did homework there, hung out there, slept there, ate there, worked out there because I bought a treadmill. That was an experience. I like didn't leave, and I got very depressed, and I did very poorly mentally. I ended up failing my first Finance 300 test that first semester sophomore year, and I had a complete meltdown. And I went home, and my dad like sat me down and was like, "You don't even like finance. You should not major in it. You also need to drop this class because you don't want like a C or D on your transcript. Like that's not gonna do you any good." I ended up dropping Finance 300 because I had like 18 credits, and I don't know why I thought that was a good idea. I'm a person who's never failed a thing in her life, who got straight A's through high school. Like, it was a big deal. And I also was not getting along well with my roommates because I was doing unwell mentally, and if your cup isn't full, you can't pour out into anyone else, and it was a complete disaster. I was unwell. So I ended up going home, dropping finance, and then talking to my dad, and I switched majors to business marketing and English creative writing because I wanted to go into publishing. Right around there, I also looked into getting a internship the following summer, and it was actually kind of crazy, and I think this is a God story, but you can think it's anything if you're not religious. I was talking to my dad because he's a professor, so he was also home teaching. He was talking to me about one of his past students, how she had worked at this company in my hometown in the marketing and copywriting department as an intern, and he was talking to me about it. I was like, oh, that would be perfect. So I called my mom, because she is the doctor for this company, to tell her this and ask her if like maybe she could contact someone that she works for and see if that would be an option. And I kid you not, her latest patient was one of the heads in this department, and my mom was telling her about me, and she was like, does she want an internship this summer? Like, she sounds perfect for our department, da-da-da-da, you should have her call us. She gave my mom her number. I kid you not, I'm calling her to talk to her about this, and she just had a patient and talked about it. It was the weirdest thing. I ended up calling this girl and setting up this internship. I had to go through the whole interview process, which was kind of stressful. I had to set up a ad and do a copy edit test, all the things, and interview with all the leads and heads. Ended up getting pretty good grades. I think I got like 3 A's, an A, B, and a B, something like that. That's normally what I get. From there on out, that's normally what I would get in grades. Second semester, I tried going back to Madison and living in the apartment again. And again, I ended up going home. It was just like not for me. I was in bad isolation, seeing the same 3 people every day, and it just was not fun for me, I'm gonna be honest. Second semester, I think I got into my English creative writing classes. I took like the first 2 English core classes. And also, side note, because I was already in the business school majoring in a business major, marketing, I could double major in English by only taking the 10 core English classes, so 30 credits. Just a little side note and tip in case you want to do that. It's really easy and fun. I had to switch locations. I'm sorry that there was sun right there, I didn't even know. So back to second semester sophomore year. I did pretty well in school. Then I think I got like 3 A's, an A, B, and a B. I took my first 2 English classes for the major and then 3 business classes. I think I took the first marketing class. I got back into some clubs second semester. I got into women in business and I did the Delight one, Embark one. The whole year was not great for me. So sophomore year, bad. Overall, bad. Summer before junior, I did the internship, like I talked about, an 8 to 5 job, 5 days a week. So 40-hour weeks all summer long. I couldn't go in the sun because I was on Accutane. I was trying to get over my depression spell for the past year. Also in between my sophomore and junior year of college, I worked the full-time internship, 40 hours a week, and I also took 9 credits. So I took 3 different college classes. One was like a sociology class, I think, that or something like that, but every business major has to take it. I took another science class and I took MHR something. Anyways, so I took 9 credits and worked 40 hours a week all summer. I really did not have a life between sophomore and junior year. Not at all. Junior year started and I kind of just decided to go into it with an open, fresh mind, forget about anything that had happened in the past and just work on myself and worry about myself. First semester, I took another marketing class. I took my first creative writing class and that was so good and so fun. I took MHR 300, just some businessy classes and some English classes. That's all I do. They were all in person again, so I got to go out. I was now in a house with 10 girls. The girl I spoke about who I became friends with in SOAR prior to my freshman year, I combined my roommates with her roommates. So there were 4 of us in my apartment and she had 5 total in hers. And then we also had another mutual friend that we added. So I live in a house with 10 girls. It's always a fun time. There's always something going on. I just went into it with a very open mind. I also got to be out, go to classes, go to the gym. Sophomore year, if I was in Madison at my apartment, I had to do mandatory testing twice a week. Everyone did, and I was awful at saliva. Like, I could not make saliva to save my life. Junior year was just a lot better. I started volunteering for the wrestling team, which was so much fun. Also, for a club, joined the Daily Cardinal, and I write life and style articles. Primarily I did it sophomore year, but I have written one this past year and I'll probably write some senior year. Again, I think I got like 3 A's, an A, B, and a B. I don't know, something like that. In between, like in that Christmas break, I applied to the NYU Summer Publishing Institute program. Actually, I applied to it like the week before finals, and then I found out like a week and a half right after my finals ended that I got in. In that winter, I worked at my internship again in my hometown, and I took a 3-credit Wintram class through UW-Madison. It was like the first one they'd ever offered, and it was an English class that I had to take for my major, so I just took that. Then this past semester, I turned 21, and took more English classes, more marking classes. My best friend studied abroad in Spain this last semester. At first that was kind of hard because she was kind of who I hung out with all the time and talked to all the time. But I just reached out to other people, you know, made new friends, and I got straight A's, which was exciting. And I took biz law this past semester, which is supposed to be really hard, but I loved it. And now I might go into law, but probably not. After my first year, I kind of realized that Madison is tough. Like, school is hard there, which is kind of why people say we party so hard, because it's freaking tough to get an A. Everyone who goes there is pretty much smart. You have to get, like, the average is a B, and most classes are curved so that most people get a B. So it's just very hard to get an A. And so since then, I just, like, didn't really worry about grades. I've never gotten below a B, so I probably would worry if I got below a B. And clearly I worried when I failed my finance test, but I just kind of went with it and worried more about learning and, like, enjoying the classes and doing good than just getting a certain grade, if that makes sense. And then I went back to my hometown. Brother had a wedding, working back at that internship, and I leave for New York in a week. So that's kind of been the college experience. I also want to make a note of, like, drinking, because I know Madison is very high, like, party drinking culture. Again, I hadn't really drank until I went to school. And freshman year, first semester, it was just like tailgating, a little bit of partying, not really, more dorm, gross drinking. Second semester, got a fake ID, used that. Sophomore year, did not go out at all, and I do mean at all because of COVID and just my mental state. This past year, I wasn't supposed to be drinking my first semester because I was on Accutane, and I really wasn't drinking. But I'm gonna tell you of a story because, you know, why not? On September 11th, yes, I know, there was a football game, and it was a night game, and so we were tailgating all day, and I decided to drink for, like, the first time in months. And I kid you not when I say that. Like, I hadn't been drinking. I wasn't even supposed to be drinking. I didn't drink that much. But I did choose to drink and then go to the game. I was with a group of friends, and we scanned our tickets. And then we were kind of in that in-between before we get the tickets. There's, like, a little in-between section where people normally just keep walking. But one of our friends couldn't get their ticket up on their phone, so we were waiting for him. And I was drunk. And I wasn't doing anything, like, I was just literally standing there, but I must have looked drunk. And a cop grabbed me, pulled me aside, started asking me questions, and then I ended up getting slammed against the wall, handcuffed, and taken below the stadium to, like, the drunk fish tank bowl, whatever they call it. Yeah, it was not good. I didn't do all the best things, and I'm forever grateful that this cop kind of was nice and let me off the hook for some things, because I could have gotten in a lot more trouble than I did. But I was just, like, traumatized because I wasn't even supposed to be drinking. I don't really drink. I knew I was in the wrong, like, I was under 21 and drunk, and so yeah, it was a lot. And so I ended up getting an underage, and I walked back, didn't even get into the game. It was like 6 p.m. The game had just started. I walked back bawling, just bawling. Got to my house, called my brother, bawling, was like, I got arrested, and he's like, oh my god, do you need me to come get you, like, bail you out of jail, da da da. I was like, no, like, I got an underage. And he's like, then you didn't get arrested? I'm like, I got arrested. And I was just a mess, and so he had to, like, talk me off the edge, basically. And then I was, like, begging him to come get me because I just was like, I want to see my dog, like, I want to see Bella and everything, and it was just a shit show. And then he calmed me down, and then I called my friend who I had talked about who got an underage at Freak Fest, called him crying, and he kind of talked me down too, but I just called him because I thought he could kind of relate because he had gotten an underage in Madison. I talked to a family friend who was a lawyer about my situation, and I ended up writing another letter, flashback to freshman year, to the court, to my judge, kind of explaining the situation and just apologizing and, like, taking responsibility, saying, like, yep, I know I fucked up and I'm sorry and I'll take whatever consequences you give me. And then she ended up sending me a letter back and saying if I do not get in trouble with the law, like, regarding drinking, underage drinking, until I turn 21, because it was only in a few months, then the underage would be dropped. Nothing would be there, like, it would be wiped from my record. And so did not drink from September 11th to February 7th. not once. Well, I might have drank a few times, but it was like with my family at my house. I think that's it. I think I've covered everything. Friends, I've made some really good ones, lifelong friends. Most of them are actually from Wisconsin, which I feel like is kind of weird, but I don't know. I'm open to meeting other friends. I'm about to go to New York and I'm gonna meet people from all over the world. Not just the country, but the world. So that'll be exciting. Dating life, I don't know. Still single. So that should explain some things. I'm not really attracted to skinny white boys with the nicotine addiction, which sums up most of the guys that go out to the bars, so we'll just leave that there. I'm kidding. Some of them are probably sweet guys, and I maybe should give them a chance. I just don't give anyone a chance. Oh, I don't know. I don't know what else. School's hard. Partying is fun. Friends are great. Yeah, it's gone fast. 3 years. One of them was gone because of COVID, basically, and my depression, so here we are. 1 more year to go, and I'm very excited. Doing this program in the summer, and I'm also taking a summer class right after the program. And then I'm taking 15 credits in the fall, and I think like 6 in the spring. So, could have graduated early, but and then I plan to go to New York. Maybe get my master's degree from NYU. So, yeah, I think that's all. I've only eaten half this, but that's normally what I do. Like, I eat half of it for dinner, and then I eat the other half like the next day during lunch. So, it was so good. Yum, yum, yum. Thank you so much for joining me. I hope you thought this was entertaining, my college experience, or maybe it was boring. Who knows? Please like, comment, and subscribe, and have a great day. Pretty soon I'm gonna be in New York, so stay tuned for all those cool videos. Bye.